Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan with the Chart Guys, trader and technical analyst. We had a bunch of euphoria again today. Lots of all-time highs out there. Again, Tesla just keeps going up. We're going to look at what we're looking for a temporary top. Quantum stocks putting on a show. Let's look at the charts. All right, so the S&P 500 futures chart is just tightening up here, and we have the 12-hour possibility we just keep tightening into tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised, FOMC on Wednesday could be what leads to a break of this tightening range. Again, it's just that rotation. Still continued weakness in the financial sector and in the healthcare sector, which we will look at. NASDAQ, MAG 7, just leading the way to the upside in a big way. And all that is leading to just sideways for the S&P 500, no red flags. Clear support level to be going off of. Just looking at SPY, we could say as long as 602.13 is support, the bulls have complete control. And again, this is MAGs, the MAG 7 ETF, just exploding the last couple of weeks. And again, there's just too many names hitting all-time highs. Amazon all-time highs. Apple got a new one today. Meta, not quite. Microsoft, not there. Tesla, of course, is. NASDAQ, leading the way. I was watching, again, in a bull market, it's just put on your bear glasses and say, okay, this is a potential rising wedge that I'm keeping an eye on. But I remind myself that we are, here's the hourly, let's redraw that. Remind ourselves that in blue sky breakout, rising wedges are not a good signal. I mean, they can play out, but the probability that they play out is so much lower than when you're in a downtrend when it aligns with the most likely scenario. And so obviously getting above it today. But again, it's just complete bull control. Daily uptrend is our guide. I care most about the weekly uptrend. Again, ever since our summer sucker punch, all I have cared about is the weekly higher lows for the bigger picture guide. And here we have the NASDAQ now. I mean, it's just, you can look ahead and say, okay, how can the bulls keep control from here? We're extended, whatever. Well, I can see exactly how. We could look for a weekly bounce in XLF and XLV. And while that's happening, QQQ gets weekly consolidation, knowing that we can pull back 5% and be extremely healthy on the weekly time frame still. They just continue setting the stage for the rotation to keep things just fine. Just a note, I'm doing a blow-off top webinar Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern, and it's the right time to be doing it just as far as Tesla, which we'll talk about, and these quantum stocks. As far as the broader market, bigger picture, I'll talk about that as well, but looking forward to that webinar. Semiconductors, bull break on the daily. Good sign, led by AVGO now. Just monster move from earnings, and we're getting rotation. We're getting relative weakness in NVDA. Money is leaving NVDA, and it's going to AVGO. TSM, still range bound, but that's what's been taking place. So SMH, bulls are hoping that this is the monthly high or low. Again, big picture, is there any red flag to this long-term consolidation? No, not at all. It's very healthy sideways. It's what SPY is doing on the daily time frame right now. What makes it seem bearish is that everything else has been extremely bullish the last 6 months. So comparatively, you could say, yeah, SMH underperforming the last 6 months. But again, if you show me this chart in a vacuum with no other context, there's nothing bearish about this chart at this point. And if we're going to get a broader market blow off top, we definitely need semis to be a part of that. So NVDA, I was told on social media today that anybody shorting NVDA is stupid. Okay. Hitting 2-month lows, showing relative weakness for 3 weeks. What are you talking about? So, still in the NVDA short, because bulls have given me no reason to exit. Monthly consolidation is underway. I remind myself a monthly higher low is the most likely scenario. There's tons of space for it. We could drop 30% from here and form a monthly higher low. But it's just picture, I mean, the bears are loving, the pair trade of long Tesla, short NVDA has been such a winner over the last few weeks. And new key resistance on NVDA, 139.60. I am going to be keeping an eye out for a possibility of a falling wedge type of setup, but again, just going to let it play out until bulls give me a reason to exit the remainder of that short. Tesla, after hours, is still going. Again, blow off tops come with gaps in stocks. And so if you close strong, you look for a gap up. And this is just a beauty. This is just a higher low every single day, 8 days in a row now. Tons of follow through. I trimmed a third of my swing position at 421 on Friday. I forget what day, last week. And if we gap up tomorrow, I will go down to a half swing position size remaining. And I may even look to day trade it short. I shorted NVDA this morning. One of the things I've been liking to do is add to winners. I've been trying to work on my swing trading game the last few years. It's going real well. And I want to add to winners. And so I've got an NVDA short winner, and I shorted it for a day trade. First thing, 9 seconds into the morning, I get filled on this short. And we just dump for 10 minutes. And so I scale out my short. I get my day maker in 10 minutes. And then my swing position can benefit for any follow through. But, 5-minute RSI in the teens, I'm scaling out of that day trade. And so Tesla, I added to Tesla as well today. Look at the bulls are doing such a good job of seeing short-term oversold conditions and playing right off support where, 5-minute oversold on Friday held the low of Thursday by less than $1. And then today didn't get to 5-minute oversold, but the weakness on the morning filled the gap by 15 pennies. And then bulls said, all right, we're buying again. And this is where trends are key. Bears say, this gets us to pay attention. This is a big drop, a couple percent drop, almost a 3% drop. All right, we're paying attention. Is this the top into daily consolidation? If you can't confirm a 5-minute downtrend, the answer is no. That's why trends are so important. The initial shock move is great, but you've got to sustain the follow through when the bulls do attempt and show up. And so this is an example where I had some fills under 440 today and did not think we were going to keep this breakout going. So sold them far too soon, but fortunately the swing position still benefiting. But again, the bigger we gap up tomorrow morning, the more likely a temporary top will be set. We look for, in these kind of moves, and again, this is a playbook that I've been using trading euphoria markets literally for 12 years. I can think back to cannabis penny stocks would gap up open and we would just sell and then reload the consolidation and then do it all over again. And so going to be looking for the same thing here where Tesla, if we gap up, I want to give me a 3-5% gap up. But if we gap up strong, we look for profit taking and hourly consolidation on that gap up. We look for 5 or 15-minute oversold to try and mark an hourly high or low. And Tesla didn't have any hourly consolidation today. So if we gap up, wherever it is, an hourly high or low is still going to be the most likely scenario. We could drop 5% and form an hourly high or low. So, and that opens the door for trading in both directions. Maybe I'll short Tesla tomorrow. I just put something in my eye. Maybe I'll short Tesla tomorrow, but I'll cover a good chunk into short-term oversold conditions, may add to a long, probably not at this point. The daily chart's so due for consolidation at this point. I'm not going to add any long from here, but this is a breakout. 500, bulls looking towards 500 psychological as a key resistance level from here. Pause. Don't rub your eyes while recording a video. 4-hour EMA 12 is a beautiful guide. Again, I want to identify conditions that have been the same statement in a current market environment. Ever since Tesla broke its ascending triangle bullish, we've held 4-hour EMA 12 on every period of consolidation. So I know we are in the same structure of the same kind of move from that breakout as long as 4-hour EMA 12 is support. When we lose it, I know something is shifting and a temporary top is then very likely set. I can have confidence in that. Quantum stocks. QUBT, just an insane runner today. Up 70-something%. I'm trading these names in both directions and loving it. I'm not going to go into the in-depth trades today, but it was a 15-minute high or low. Right off EMA 12 on QUBT was a good one. And again, that's an example where, I'm longing this name when we are already up 50% on the day. If you tell me that with no context, I say, what are you doing? That is bad risk reward. You show me the chart, you show me the setup, 1 minute oversold. That was a 1 minute back burner for 15-minute EMA 12. And that makes a lot more sense. All right, limited risk. Most likely scenarios, a 15-minute high or low. But the more these names run on this run, the more likely a multiple week top is going to be set. And again, this is, we might have a really nice live example of a blow off top for the webinar on Thursday. But you just look at QBTS. I don't want to spoil the webinar, but one of the things you see at the end into the blow off top along with gaps is the move just gets a bit exponential. So here's QBTS going up 91% in 2 days. Meanwhile, it took a lot longer to see those kinds of gains. Well, I mean, there's periods. I want another big green day if I'm going to be real confident in a multiple week top being set. But for now, it's just the hourly uptrend. End of the day pullback, 5-minute bounce. We're going to look at the hourly higher lows. QBTS is a leader. RGTI, still no daily consolidation. Profit taking today, absolutely. But we've been in a daily stair step at this point. Since the daily stair step started, we've gone up 200% with no daily consolidation. So again, these moves aren't sustainable in the sense that we are going to pull back 30, 40%. We've done it multiple times on the way up. But again, just beautiful opportunity in both directions with this volatility. Back to last Tuesday, this gap up open was my best day of the week shorting that. Just because I had high conviction in a temporary top on the gap up. I was hoping we're going to gap up tomorrow, but with the profit taking we saw today, less likely. IONQ, another name, blue sky breakout, just complete recovery. So again, the euphoria is still thick in these quantum names. And let's see. Give me another double-digit green percentage day in this sector, and then I'll be real confident that we're heading towards a multiple week top. Healthcare still lead bear. Again, if you say that, if you tell me that the S&P 500 today got within a fraction of 0.2% of all-time highs, and the third most important sector in the S&P 500 is down 12% in the last few months, I would say, man, that's great. When XLV bounces and shifts some momentum, that's only going to help. And maybe another sector takes a breather. As I talked about, I'm watching for the possibility of a monthly head and shoulders. We're heading towards our support zone. Adjusted for the dividend, previous resistance, hold as support. Here we are coming back to it. Financial sector, simple statement. We've been holding weekly EMA 12 support for over 6 months at this point, right around 6 months. Nothing changes as long as that holds. The most likely scenario on XLF will be a weekly higher low sometime in the coming weeks, probably when, the NASDAQ bulls got to take a breather. And so can keep an eye out for it. Just healthy, contained consolidation. If we get a bear break of 49.39 with no follow through, well, we did today. If we're green tomorrow, it's going to be shaping up the possibility of a falling wedge for a weekly higher low. IWM was green today. It's looking for a weekly higher low. I don't love the clarity on IWM for me personally. Let's see if this is a rising wedge. Gotta watch this. You could draw it as a channel. If I don't use that as my anchor point, it's a bit more rising wedgy. Worth paying attention to. But again, rising wedges and blue sky breakouts, less probability. Dollar weekly bull flag is on the table. If we get a weekly lower high, we'll look for a tightening range. Metals bulls hope that's a weekly lower high shaping up. Gold is range bound. Resistance zone, support zone, we're near the middle of it. Silver, red flag for me on silver. I don't like that weekly look at this point, so I did, as I mentioned, I did take some profit. We'll see if the bears confirm the weekly downtrend. $30 has had a lot of support holds at psychological level. Oil. I was watching this on oil. It broke bull. Now it's all about, okay, so whenever you break a pattern or break something that you're watching, you zoom out and then look at the next time frame. And so this is a weekly equilibrium on oil, and it's all about 71.51. If we fail 71.51, we're going to remain range bound. What has to happen if we're going to fail 71.51? Well, let's go to the 4-hour. Step one is we got to confirm a 4-hour downtrend. Then we go to the daily, and we would then need to pull back a decent bit. to be a clear rejection, but an initial rejection, just like natural gas, initial rejection came up to our weekly resistance zone. We looked great last week, but we're still tightening up. So hoping we get a daily bounce from here for another higher low to form. But again, just viewing this, let's condense it down to the 2-day time frame. I mean, you could even condense it down and just be viewing this as a bigger picture equilibrium like this. What else? ANF has a nice weekly bounce off support, so it's likely going to continue tightening up sideways for a while. HON, another quantum name. Nice sideways range of its bull break. Inverse head and shoulders here. Similar to a CCJ swing trade I entered a few weeks ago. All right. See what you got, Tesla. Give us a 470 plus gap up open. We then look for hourly consolidation on that open. We then look for short-term oversold conditions to try and help mark an hourly higher low. Market's fun. It's euphoria. Enjoy it while it lasts. Crypto stocks doing well today. Bitcoin new all-time highs. Let's see if we get Ethereum's turn to head towards all-time highs. Ethereum hit 3-year highs today, but still need another 20% for an all-time high. All right, do good things. Hope you had a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. See if you can spot the reason why I have to leave this brush pile through the winter. It's a pretty dope home.